as I'm adjusting. I'm at the loom today, and I'm going to do some weaving, but in the spirit of doing art journaling every day through the month of April, I'm jumping on a little early. And I'm going to do a little art journaling right here at my loom, because I want to share with you ways that I put art journaling, that I put my current projects in my art journal to try and track what's going on. And I'm waiting to see, I'm taking my glasses off. I'm waiting to see how this goes live. It might not go live for 3 minutes, maybe. I don't know. I guess I'm going to find out. Here I am. Yay. Okay. So yeah, let me tilt this up just a bit. There we go. All right. So I've got my art journal here at my loom, and I'm going to do some weaving today for just my weekly live cast. But I thought, like I said, I've been art journaling every day through the month of April, and it's mostly for me because at the end of last month, I found that I hadn't been journaling that much, and I was getting too inside my head about my journal. And one of the things I like to do to kind of keep it from getting too precious is to just get in there every day. And so I've challenged myself for 30 days. Now, I used to have a 30-day art journal challenge, which was an email series, and I still have that tucked away somewhere. It needs a revamp, but it might make it back to, I don't know. I'm not really 100% sure what I wanted to do with that, because I like the idea of going live and doing art journaling, but doing it every day is kind of, I have to figure out how that's going to play out. So anyway, but here I am at my loom, and I'm going to shift the camera a little bit, and let's talk about one waiting. I'm wondering if that's because it won't go live until noon. Interesting. Okay. Let me see if I can pull up the live chat. Okay. Ooh. Sorry, technical difficulties. Yeah, it's just shy of noon. So anyway, so here I am at my loom, and here's my art journal, and I'm going to share with you a way that or how I'm going to document what's going on with this weaving right now. And the reason why I want to document it is because I messed up somewhere, and I'm if you get my newsletter, you can read all about how it got messed up. But what happened is I've been following this pattern, or so I thought. And actually, it's not. It's actually, I'm doing something different, and I'm not 100% sure what it is, because it kind of looks right, but it's not. And so I'm not even 100% sure, but I did it consistently enough to where it looks like a pattern, and it actually kind of looks like this. So I don't know. So I'm going to document that in my art journal, and probably when I'm done with this, I'll cut this out and look and see what happened. But anyway, this is not this. Well, it kind of looks like this, but it's not this, which is what I'm supposed to be following. And I thought I was, but I think I'm doing it backwards. So I don't know. But, you know, hey, I mean, and I'm okay with going forward with it as is, except for now I'm overthinking it because I know I messed up, so I don't know what I was doing. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, so here we are at my art journal, and I'm going to shift the camera. Hold on, let's see. This usually leads to either me flashing myself or, okay, whoops. It doesn't like that. There we go. All right, that'll work. All right, so here I am at my art journal. And I normally don't work at my loom with the art journal, but just for sake of not having, I don't have two setups. So rather than carrying the camera with me, I'm going to just do it this way. Okay, so I have this little thing, this sprocket. And it's a printer that prints my images from my phone. And it uses this little paper. And I love this thing. I use it to add, I take photographs from, well, these are personal photographs, but this is like, this was a garment that was at the Philadelphia Museum that I thought was inspiring and wonderful. But I'll like download images from Pinterest. This is Natalie Shannon and her work, and I just love her work. And I'll put them in the book. So it's kind of it's a cheat. I mean, you could always print things out on your printer and paste it in. But here I'm just going to take, and the stuff you get, it's a zinc ink. It's like a no ink kind of printer, HP. So it has a sticker back, and there are other brands that do this. And for whatever reason, they made it sticker back, which is perfect for this. So I'm going to put this here because I want to go back and put these down, the patterning, and maybe when I figure out what the patterning was supposed to be, I'll write it here, and I'll probably, add bits of yarn and paint swashes and stuff like that. But this time, instead of starting with the background, and I thought about going back and doing it on one of these backgrounds, but it just, I don't know, it just didn't look right. It was just too busy, and I wanted to focus on what was going on here. So this is just going to be like sketchbook information, and I will go back and pretty it up with whatever that needs to be. So I'm just taking these little stickers, and these are pictures. This is a picture of further back on the warp, and here's another picture of further back on the warp. And I'm leaving myself some room to write stuff and to paste other things in. Oop, come on. Here we go. Okay. So there's that. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm probably going to print out another copy of this. This was photographed from Xerox, copy printed from the book. And the book is, I'll put a link below. It's the 4-shaft weaving. It's that brown book with the spiral inside it, the hardcover. Anyway, so, and I'm just going to document how I messed up and how it still looks right. And I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing. So instead of sitting here trying to figure it out, I think I might have, but instead of doing that here, I'm going to start weaving these side ends. Let me just move this out of the way. Okay. All right. I'm going to start weaving these side ends because I split the warp a little bit for this middle section, and then I wanted to weave something chunkier on this side, and I'm not cutting this off of here because I definitely want to keep on with this just a little bit more, even if it's just one full repeat, which looks like it would be 1, 2, 3, 4 more picks to be a full of this rogue honeysuckle pattern. So we'll see what I end up doing there. But in the meantime, I'm going to do a little bit of weaving on the ends. And because I can't beat the ends because of this, I'm going to use this beater here to pack that in. But I don't think I want to go any higher than here because I do want to use this beater for the last 4 picks. And that'll keep it a little even on the tension. Now, if you can see right here, I don't know if you can see. Let me see. Yeah, you can kind of see where the weft is drifting through this section here. And I was reading about that, and I think it might be because I tend to pull my ends like this, and I think that does something to the weft. Also, this edge right here, you can see the weft is drifting when it hits over that edge, and you can really see it down here if you're looking at the fabric underneath here. And I'm hoping that when I pull it off the loom that it'll kind of bounce right back. People say that it will, but I don't know if that's the case necessarily with this freeform weaving where it's woven not quite as tight. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, so yeah, and if you get my newsletter, ironically, the newsletter about my epic mistakes, the newsletter went out with the wrong photographs inserted into it, which I find epically ironic. But such as it is during Mercury retrograde. I'm going to blame Mercury retrograde, but yeah, it's just my own boneheadedness, I'm sure. So yeah, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? You know what? I might go ahead and just cut that so this is not an issue. Where's my scissors? And then I'll just start it back up. So I'm going to cut that to give it enough end for me to tuck back in. And same on this side. Okay. And I'm setting those aside. Right on. Alrighty. Let me put that back in there. I think that I decided the pick was this. That's totally not it. Oh, that's totally not it either. It's this one. All right. And I'm just tucking that end in. And I'll pick up with the next pick, which looks like it would be in this lighter color yarn. And I think I decided that was not that one, but this one. Yep, that's it. And because I'm in the middle of the warp, I don't really have floating selvage for this section. So I'm using the last yarn on each section as a floating selvage and just making sure that I'm wrapped around it in some form, whether it's in pattern or not. So, all right, back to it. I'm going to put this color. I'm going to start on this side. This, though, does have the floating selvage. So, and I usually try to do the same each way. So if I'm throwing this way, I usually try to go underneath this yarn. But if I'm throwing this way, I try to do it over the yarn. Okay, mostly because I'm right-handed. But that makes no sense because then I'm having to catch with this side. No, it does make sense because I'm having to throw over here. And the same, I don't have any floating selvage for this side of this section. And I'm just going to do a little bit. But it's picking up this orange color here, which is interesting. Okay. I'm going to pack it in with the comb. And I'm just doing a tabby for this side. Right on. But I don't want much of it, I don't think, because it kind of, I thought it was going to be more like a bright, but it's picking up all these oranges down here. And I guess it's in contrast to that purple and the blue. Just kind of interesting. Going under, right? Again, because I can't bring this down to pack that in because of this section. So I'm just beating it with the comb. Ooh, if I pack it down really tight, then it covers up that warp, which I think I kind of like. I mean, I love the blue, but I think it, all right, let me do that. Yay. Over, right? Okay, under. All right, I'm gonna cut that there because I just want a little line of it. I want these sides to be kind of sort of loose and textural, I think. I mean, that's the rough idea I have. Let's see what happens. Again, I'm packing that really tight so it's more weft facing, which means that that warp is getting really covered up. Okay, let's see. Let's do something fun. How about I'm going to do maybe this hand spun? Oh, I've also got, oh, this one. Oh, yeah, this one. And then I'll do this one on this side, I think. Okay. And I'm going to do another section of this color up here. But this, I think I want to do it kind of loose. All right, let's see. If I can find the end of it. Oh, there it is. That's the last page. Good morning. Hey, bee lady. How are you? I guess it's good afternoon. It's good afternoon here. Okay. You know, I think I want this to be down under here and just let the end not necessarily stick out, but just really be tucked in. There we go. And again, I'm beating with my comb because this section is taller and is preventing me from being able to beat down here, but that's okay because I think I want this section to be a little on the loose side. Okay. I go underneath. So it's almost like a lacy. And I say lace in the loosest term because this is definitely not a lace weight, but it's creating like an open space is what I mean. Okay, I'm going over to try and that floating selvage to get that locked in. There we go. Yay. Oh, late night last night. Yeah. Girl, I hear you. I've had my share of those for sure. I went to bed a little early. One of my best friends from Birmingham just moved here. She arrived yesterday from California. And I helped her unpack her car. And by help her unpack her car, I did a few loads, but not as many as her daughter, who has all the energy of youth and was bounding up and down the stairs. So anyway, so I was tired. Let's see. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. It's a contrast to all the fine yarns that I've been using for sure. And I think weaving it kind of without packing it totally in, you can really see the yarn. This is a hand spun 2-ply, and I think I made it from some art bats because there is a little bit of sparkle in there. So I've had this for a while, but I like the chunky 2-plies for sure. Okay, I'm trying to figure out which one's my floating selvage, because sometimes it gets pulled in and it's hard to distinguish. I like that section a lot. Thank you. You know what? I feel like you can't see it very well because my noggin is getting in the way and it's reshifting the focus. Okay, so I'll try and not move forward as much. Okay, there we go. Yeah, technical difficulties. Hammering out the technical difficulties seems to be the theme for this month. I remembered to charge both the receiver and both microphones last night. So hopefully that's holding up. And figured out how to plug in the receiver so it has power, gives power to the phone while I'm recording. Fingers crossed, y'all. Okay. Oh, I'm keeping my noggin out the way. There we go. I think I'm going to do one more piece, pack it in a little more, and then put some more of this up there. One more pick. Did I say pick? I probably said thing. Okay. It also helps if I don't mumble. Then the sound's much better. But because I do tend to mumble, especially because as I'm sitting here working, you guys are there, but it's almost, I'm in the room by myself. So I talk kind of mumble to myself. Okay, there we go. All right, let me cut that off. Sounds excellent today. Good. Yay. Well, it helps when I plug in the microphone. And it's much better. Also, too, I think this microphone, this lavalier, the new one, is just a better quality overall. I was looking at some of the earlier videos with the old lavalier mic, and the sound just wasn't as clear, even when it was before it was broken. So, all right, yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, let's see. I was going to go back over with this yarn and do a tight little weft facing section here. Oop. Oh, this is starting to unwind off the little. I use smoothie straws for bobbins sometimes, especially on this Saori spindle, and I have a Saori winder that is awesome. because you can fit the little smoothie straws on it really easily, and to wind up your bobbins. But sometimes if I pack it too tightly, too much yarn on the little bobbin, then it tends to start to fall off the ends, which is what it's doing right now, because evidently April is for the epic fails. Okay, here we go. And again, I'm going to pack that in with that comb to get more of a weft facing. And I'm pulling this because what's happening is the thickness of this weft is doing weird things to the warp up top for the skinny yarn. It's making it kind of buckly, but you know what? I don't think I hate that. That's interesting. Okay. We'll go with that. All right. And I'm trying to keep it, you know what? I can pack it now with this because that's the same height. There we go. That packs it in a little better. Okay, let's see. Maybe I need to deal with this tangled mess first. Oh, great. Look at that. Oh, that's fun. Oh, here we go. Now we're in business. Wait. You know, I think over the last 15 years, I really have just become a professional yarn detangler. Yeah. Okay, there we go. That'll work. Yes. Right here. Yay. And with the April fails. Oh, I'm telling you, man, it's Mercury in retrograde. I'm sorry to bring the woo. I have a friend who's very sciencey, and he always says, he's always like, and I bring the woo. It's Mercury retrograde. I'm enjoying that. So anyway, but that's okay. You live and you learn. Actually, some of my best stuff. I tell you what. One of the epic fails for me was this salmon color. I used to absolutely hate this salmony color, pinky orange. Like hated it. And one day I made myself buy a bottle, like a small jar of that dye, and challenged myself to use it. And I accidentally picked it up when I was making a colorway. And lo and behold, it was beautiful because it was up against this turquoise blue color. And it's the exact opposite of that turquoise blue color. And it made it pop. That contrast between this and that turquoise was just stunning. So Mike is failing now. Great. Okay. How come? Let's see. On. I don't know why. Huh. This is on. This is on. Now? I'm wondering if it's still failing. Oy. That would just be epically awful if it was. I don't know why. I don't know why, y'all. Oh, it's okay again. Okay, good. I have no idea what that's about. I'm wondering if it has to do with, I don't know. I'll have to Google it and see what's up because both of these were on. But I'm wondering if it has to do with the Wi-Fi connection. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. You know, I used to have a lavalier mic that was wired in. I don't know. Or again, it's Mercury retrograde. I'm just going to blame everything on that. All right, I'm going to move to this section. And I think instead of orange, I'm going to go with this. No. And I'm doing what color? This color. Nope. I think I'm going to stick with that orange. Okay. Right on. It was like some interference. Interesting. Interference. I'll have to go back and listen to it. Huh. Wonder what that would be about. Oh, you know what it could be? I'm filming with my phone because just that's what's easiest to film with for me at this point, especially going live. And I'm wondering if that was a phone call. I bet that might be it. I'll have to, because that's one thing I didn't do is turn on do not disturb or focus. Or no, it is on focus. So I don't know. Okay, I'm having to go under. No, you know what? I'm going to go under this way to keep it consistent. All right. I'll have to investigate that. But thank you for the input on that. Let's see. And again, well, look what I just did. Oh, I missed this warp thread over here. But you know what? I'm just going to catch it on the next round. It's going to be okay. All right. Because I'm packing this in so tight, I don't think it's going to matter too much if it's on the next round. There we go. Go over. So I think now that I'm like sitting here mindlessly doing this weaving part, I think to solve out what I need to do to solve out where I went wrong with this section, and I only need to do 4 more picks, but it's real clear that this is the pattern of this honeysuckle is kind of like reflects on each other. So I'm just going to have to go by what was done here and see if I can lift the shafts that correspond to the reverse of this down here. And I just need to do it for, like I said, 4 more picks, which would complete that little, oh no, wait. Did I say 4? I meant 7. 7 more picks to complete this little flower section and make it look a little more intentional. And then I can move on to like a different color and make it look a little more intentional. Because, I mean, it's one thing to do freeform, but with the patterning, you kind of want the patterning to be right. So, anyway, or at least I do. I'm going under. Right. Okay. All right, I'm going to cut that off there. And then it's interesting because this side is browner than this side, which is really like fleshy color, which is okay because I think because I'm going to use this yarn for this part. And I think that brown's going to go really well with the white and the turquoise. Okay. I set this aside because I'm going to use that again. And I'm going to move on to this. And again, I'm still just doing a tabby weave. I'm going to tuck this in towards the bottom again like I did on this one, this side, because I don't want to, yeah. And I think it's okay if you see the end. There we go. And I have it looped over that selvage edge. And I'm using my comb. Where's my comb? There it is. Because same thing here, when I pull this down, this section is higher than this one. So to beat it, I have to use my comb. And I'm trying to go around this warp thread because I'm using it as a floating selvage on this side. And I'm just not going to pack it in too tight. I'm going to leave it kind of loose, especially for this one, because I want you to be able to see the texture. So I don't want it packed in really tight, so you can really see the difference in the thickness of the yarn and some of that texture. Right on. And this is a hand spun art yarn that I did. I'm trying to think. I'm wondering if this might have been one of those beach spins. It has a ton of Angelina in it. I don't know if you can see the sparkly. All right. I'm hoping I get to some of the locks in there, but I might not. Which is fine. I'll just add some locks in further up. I do have a lock spun yarn somewhere that I can tuck in, or I can just tuck in some washed locks. I have tons of that. But I kind of like it when I have it as a yarn form, because then it tends to be a little sturdier in the weaving. All right. See, I like that because you can really see the texture of the yarn in there. But the weft, I feel like the warp is fine enough to where it's holding it in place pretty well. I mean, on my rigid heddle, look at this. I have not. Crap. Okay. You know what? I'm going to unweave some of this because what's happening is I am not this. Let's see, how many is that? One. I have a couple of picks where I didn't. Well, you know, if I include it, no, I'm going to unweave it. I forgot to include that selvage end on this side. I was thinking, oh look, the selvage end on the inside is kind of naturally weaving itself in, but it wasn't on the other side. Okay, there we go. Go under. Oops. Yay, sparkle. Let's see it from space. Right? I know. It's sparkly. I'm like a magpie. Some of my favorite pages in my book are very sparkly. I have this ink. I think it's an alcohol ink. And it doesn't have glitter in it, but it has like, You know how fine body glitter is? I don't know. Maybe people don't know how fine body glitter is. Anyway, it's like powdery glitter, but it's super fine, but it's chunky enough to where it doesn't look like just metallic paint. It's right on the edge of being metallic paint, but it's chunky enough to represent as glitter, but not so chunky you think, oh, glitter. I have some of that alcohol ink, and I just love it because it's really sparkly, but it is kind of bleeding onto all of my other pages. Okay, see, look, I'm kind of about to miss that yarn again. But what about this? Is that my edge? That's wise because this is my edge, not this. All right, let's talk about epic fails, y'all. Okay, I'm going to go back under these two. All right, I'll give myself a little room there. Whew. I'll go over this. Oh, no, we're going over, right? Okay. That's a nice little chunky section there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yay. Me too. Right on. Yep. My inner magpie. All right, I'm going to do one more and then move back to that pinky color again. What am I doing? I'm going under. Right. Okay. Got it. And then I'm going to cut this off here, but this, there's just a little bit of curl right there. So I am going to tuck that back in all the way back as far as it needs to go because I love this little bit of curl. See, I'm about to miss that again. Go under this. Okay. There we go. All right, and I'm going to pack it in just a little bit because I want it to be the same height as what's going on here. I'm going to make some space between some of this. Of course, once it's off, not under tension, it's I fully understand it will probably shift a bit. And I'm okay with that. Those two panels really work with that honeysuckle. Thank you. I think so too. Or this, this Stacy's version of honeysuckle. Yeah, I think so too. I'm going to, like I said, finish off just that little section and maybe add some more of that purple or maybe even a different color. I don't know. I don't mind these two sections being starting and ending at the same place, and this one's going to be ending just a little higher. But I think I want it to end even higher. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So I'm going back to this, and this is mostly I'm doing this one to just pack in. Am I on that? Yes. Is mainly to just pack in to hold this art yarn part in a little bit. Again, I can pack it with this now. And I'm doing it pretty tightly as a weft face weave. So it'll so you'll see mostly the orange. Oh, this thing. I'm ready to be past this tangle. Oh, there we go. Did I get that edge? No, I didn't. All right, I'm going to do it on the next one. There we go. I mean, also at some point, what would be cool, which I probably will incorporate in this section, because I like having the slits, but I also like when a section, like maybe it's part of this section bleeds over onto here. Yeah, we'll play with that. That is going to be cool. And at this point, I think I'm right in the middle of the warp. Of course, I didn't put any measuring string on here. So there's that. But I have enough. The warp is long enough for just one wrap. So all right, there's that. Let me cut off this little section here. And I am going to go around that and then tuck it in here. Yay. All right. So there's that. So now I'm to the part where I need to figure this out, and I need to have smart brain and not distracted when I do that in case I need to throw things. Anyway, all right. I'm going to turn the camera. I think that's right. I hope that's right. All right, y'all. Yay! So I will be back tomorrow to do some more art journal stuff. I'll probably end up going back into that spread that I started at the beginning of this episode and write some things down and take some notes and use in that section of documenting what I'm doing, kind of thing. All right, have a good weekend. I'll see you art journalers tomorrow and Sunday, and otherwise stay crafty. Yay. Talk to you later.